let's go.
Let's rock.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah, Twisted Tuesday is on the air. Back on YouTube tonight. I haven't had a Twisted Tuesday or a Tuesday show on YouTube in a minute. We've been on Kick watching movies, which is probably going to continue, actually. But tonight, covering something that I know pretty well. It's a professional wrestling. It's a story from a lady that was in professional wrestling. I should rephrase that because it is a true crime story that we're covering here. But yeah, I've got Chris Duett hanging out with me here tonight. Real quick, let me make sure I hit the right thing. I always hit the wrong. Boom. What's up, brother?
Hello.
Good to have you, man. Thank you for coming in here.
Thank you. I'm stoked you invited me to come hang out tonight.
Well, first of all, I've actually seen that she was sentenced because of a post you made, but I know that you like pro wrestling also.
Totally.
Yeah, man. And I just told you before we actually went live here, I covered this on a wrestling channel. I have another second channel. It's a professional wrestling channel where I do commentary over pro wrestling. But I actually covered this when it happened in May of 2022 last year, and I went back and revisited that today just to get a vibe actually of what was going on because I kind of had forgotten about it, quite frankly.
She's an interesting one, man. She's like one of the more notable falls from grace. Like she was highest of the high and now lowest of the low. It's crazy.
I actually, so where she got started out before she made it to national television and World Wrestling Federation, she worked for Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and that's actually sort of localish to me. Localish as in they would have shows within 45 minutes, mostly in the Tennessee side of things, but they would come into Virginia, and I never got to actually go to one of those shows live, but being such a localish, the way television was back in the day, Channel 5, you would get to see this show. So the first time I ever seen this lady was well before the WWF, and dude, honestly, to kind of just think about it in that aspect of truly seeing her go from, she managed her husband at the time, Chris Candido. They got into the WWF together as, and became stars. But to see her kind of, like you said, one of the worst fall from grace is because a lot of people, quote unquote, call her the first ever diva, right? That's just a regular term now in wrestling. There's ladies before her, of course, in wrestling, but she was the first one that really, and it was the mid 90s also, coming in 95 and 96 and 97, they really started pushing the sex appeal, and Sunny was perfect.
Yeah. She was the total package, and she was a natural by all accounts. I mean, that's a lot of accounts. People would say like she was naturally just not a nice person. She's kind of bitchy, and that's like, and in pro wrestling, for those who aren't into it, it's kind of like carny-ish and like weird people who don't. I mean, it's a very strange world, and it's different. And like, she did it well, but she had the look, she had it all, and she was like right place, right time, and she just like shot straight to the fucking top,
She really did.
It was crazy.
She got split off from her husband, who stayed with the company, and she ended up being the star. Like, I mean,
yeah.
And that's happened a lot in other professions as well. You know, that can cut a wedge right between a relationship.
He was a trained wrestler that this was like his lifelong dream, Chris Candido. And he gets brought up a lot in her sentencing that happened that we're going to watch bits and pieces of. But
oh wow, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, during the she was examined by forensic psychologists for the state and the defense. And they both brought up Chris Candido. I think the defense psychologist was brought up Shawn Michaels and stuff. Like it's pretty crazy. But apparently, like when he died, it affected her really bad. And yeah, it's crazy. It's totally crazy that he was a trained pro wrestler who had worked literally his entire life to get to where he was in wrestling, and he didn't even make it anywhere near
her
the top
level.
of she was like, she was just so much more famous than him. It was crazy.
And she's not even a wrestler today. It's way like it's almost a non-issue. Like you almost don't have women that are managers and not wrestlers. It's always a mix now. She was a straight up eye candy. I mean, she really was. Yeah. She was there for the men to tune into the show. She truly was. And I mean, I was a young teen watching that show as well. And I mean, I remember Sunny very well.
She was very good looking at the time.
She was a bombshell. Yeah.
She had it all, and she could speak eloquently, and she presented very well. I mean, she just like, look, I mean,
this is 96, I'd say 97.
Come on. She was the most downloaded woman in AOL, like the most downloaded woman on the internet at one time.
That's true. Yeah. I think in 96, and that's counting all women, period. Like all celebrity women. She was all
women in the world. She was the most downloaded woman on the entire internet back then. It's fucking crazy. Like that's
fucking crazy.
Yeah, and I think she was in like big publications and things. Like she was big time for real, as the kids say.
I'm going to show this. This is, I think, right after this is the May 22nd one. I'm pretty sure.
There
and
she is.
Now, what she looks like now, dude, the last year has been very unkind in prison or jail.
She looks like total shit.
Total dog shit now. Like, I don't even feel bad about saying it because, no. Tammy Sytch is human trash, guys.
She's not a good person by all accounts. So.
I can go back to where she was in Smoky Mountain, okay? A human being, she could have taken a lot of paths. She chose some really shitty paths.
Yeah, definitely. Her life choices got her to where she is. I mean, and they talked about that at her sentencing and everything. Alcoholism runs in her family and whatnot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But also the state really busted their psychologist in that a lot of the things that he was citing were self-reported and not previously diagnosed things. So it's hard to really nail her down, but they did both agree that has bipolar disorder and she might have been treating that with alcohol. Apparently it's pretty bad. She also has PTSD and other things. And, if she hadn't treated these things properly and she's just using alcohol to, get through whatever's going on in her brain. I don't know what's going on, but
have you ever heard, so, I mean, just to go back, in the 90s, when she was actually in the WWF, in the World Wrestling Federation, she was doing some pretty shitty stuff then. Just behind the scenes, she was getting really heavily. This is the 90s. I don't know who knows or doesn't know about wrestling, but, somas, pills, drugs were rampant in professional wrestling. And she was addicted to cocaine. She was addicted to a lot of different drugs. Have you ever heard the one about X-Pac,
Sean Waltman?
Yeah, Sean Waltman shitting in her bag.
I did hear about that.
So, like, she would get hazed as well backstage pretty heavily, especially before she
wasn't well liked.
She wasn't well liked either. And again, I'm not going to get into deep wrestling lore with her, but there's reasons for that as well. But the last decade, dude, holy fuck. Okay, and let me just brief the 2000s for a second. It was basically her. Chris Candido died in 2005. He had a blood clot after a surgery. He flew. It went to his brain. Unfortunately, he passed away. One of my favorite wrestlers ever, too. Chris Candido.
To put it in context, they were on and off for like 16 years. They met when she was in high school, I think. Still, he might have been too. They were on and off for like 16 years. A very serious, relationship for the most part. So yeah.
And what sucks is, it always felt like Chris Candido really wanted that to work out, and she was just so insane. I mean, so all over the place. But she did some. Do you remember the site that Missy Hyatt ran in the 2000s, where they would post nude on these sites? They would get basically the ladies that had a lot of issues that weren't getting hired by the major companies anymore to post nude on these sites.
I remember. I vaguely, yeah.
I don't remember what they call wrestling vixens. It just hit me. Wrestling vixens.
Yeah, vaguely.
But yeah, Missy Hyatt, I think Francine was a part of that. Just the people that basically weren't hired anywhere else. And then I believe she ended up getting some heat with Missy Hyatt because she was talking about she didn't get paid properly or whatever.
So what's interesting that you bring that up, because the forensic psychologist for the defense who was there to mitigate for her sentencing actually one of the few people he interviewed was Missy Hyatt. So he was testifying to what Missy Hyatt had told him about Tammy Sytch in their interview. So that was really interesting.
I'll say this about Missy Hyatt. I'm still very close. I'm not as close anymore because I don't have enough time, but I still keep up with professional wrestling. And on wrestling Twitter, Missy Hyatt was my favorite follow, dude. She was the most like-minded person I ever found in wrestling on Twitter. I'll put it like that. Like if she was tweeting it, I basically agreed with it. Like it's crazy. And she was super personable too. And she works in like an office now. Like she's just a super regular person.
Oh wow,
dude, yeah, it's pretty wild. I actually had
it's so crazy to me when wrestlers go back to normal life.
Me too, like, dude.
What the fuck?
I talked to her about this, dude. It's been like a year or two ago, and actually was really into wrestling. Still doing my thing, and it'd been awesome to have an interview with her or something. But yeah, when she said that, I was like, there's just people in your office that don't even know what you did in the 80s and 90s, bro. Like, her career was kind of like real, it was quick. She was kind of similar. She was married to a wrestler, except the wrestler kind of had the worst side of the Sunny side with the drugs and got into Eddie Gilbert. But Missy Hyatt, dude, she, I feel like, is actually like everybody has their, their downsides, of course, and I'm sure she has hers as well. But it's always felt like Missy Hyatt at least tried to help out other people. Like I think she was the head of Wrestling Vixens, and it seemed like she was like, "Hey, do you need some work? I can help you out." You know what I mean?
Yeah. She seems like a pretty genuine person from what I've seen. I mean, I didn't follow her career super closely, and I'm not like the big, but I mean, from what I've seen about her, I mean, she is
cool. She seems cool
person. Yeah.
But dude, and I just kind of want to give a brief 2000s there, but really 2011, like once it started, dude, it didn't stop here this last decade. 2012. Listen to this. In 2012, Sytch was arrested 5 times in a 4-week span for disorderly conduct, third-degree burglary, 3 counts of violating a protective order. She was arrested a 6th time on January 2013 as she violated a protective order. She served 114 days in a Connecticut jail and was released in May of 2013.
I think I remember this. Did she like broke into her ex-boyfriend's house or crawled in through his window or some shit?
Get this. I've actually got a cool clip that'll go perfect with this. Check this out. This is perfect segue. Let me make sure this is working. So this is actually from 11 years ago. This is when it was happening. Again, take a look at how different she looks too.
In the life of a former pro wrestler who has been living in Brantford.
39-year-old Tammy Sytch was arrested again late today. That's her 2nd arrest in 2 days and her 5th arrest in the last month.
Bond set at $25,000.
That was 39-year-old.
I'm going to say this right now, and I'm just popping this up here right now. DUI after DUI. I told this to Dan earlier when I was kind of sending him some of my notes for this show. Dude, there was no reason she should not be out and hanging about. I mean, she needs some help. Like, I don't know if that's prison. I mean, she's killed a man, so obviously it's prison now, but she did not need to be out.
It's funny because I've seen a clip of her on like one of those shoot interviews, and she was just like laughing about it. You know, just like, oh, I got some DUIs and you know, I just don't have my shit together.
It's
Like,
it's not cool, yeah, man.
come on, yeah.
And
fuck
even in
off.
this, do I still have this up here? Even in this is right after she murdered a man. She's smirking essentially, like, oh, look how many times she's gotten out of this shit.
Yeah, she doesn't
former
get it.
pro wrestler
Like,
Tammy
you can't feel bad for this one. Like, it's
Sytch in court this morning after being arrested for the 4th time for harassing a former boyfriend. She was released on bond today, but tonight police say when she got out, she went right back to her former boyfriend's place in Brantford and was arrested again for the 5th time. Police say she went to pick up some belongings. He has a restraining order. She's not supposed to be there, so she was arrested yet again.
Especially being the youngest inductee, that especially, you know, is an honor. I mean, this is the pinnacle. This is it. You can't get much better than this.
What a difference.
what year was it that they put her in the Hall of Fame? It was within this time frame.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
A few years can make. This is Sytch when she was a WWE diva. She went by the name Sunny and was a big star in the wrestling world.
The WWE diva, but right now, you know what you are? You're a fever diva.
In 1996, she was named AOL's most downloaded woman. She was inducted into the Wrestling Hall of Fame just last year.
Your Honor, Ms. Sytch has serious underlying alcohol and mental health issues. She has complied with her treatment. There's no assaultive behavior alleged in this case.
But today, Sytch was back in a New Haven courtroom twitching. Tonight, she's locked in a cell without bond and is due back in court tomorrow.
she's probably having fucking alcohol.
Sytch's
withdrawals.
ex-boyfriend is...
oh, dude, I couldn't even imagine, especially the initial after the arrest this last time. Yeah, I mean,
That was something that was brought up in her sentencing. She was reporting seizures and whatnot, and then when the state got on, they're like, "So would alcohol withdrawals cause seizures?" And he was like, "Yeah."
yeah, dude. I mean, that's insane to me. But so, like, I mean, at this point, this was 11 years ago, and this just kept ramping up until literally a man lost his life last year. But I mean, what the hell, dude? Like, what do you do? I mean, they should have done something at some point. I feel like.
I mean,
it's between different states as well. So that's Connecticut, and then we get into Pennsylvania here. Throughout May and June of 2015, Sytch was arrested in Pennsylvania 3 times.
Do you have those charges?
Let's see if it's throughout May. Sytch was arrested in Pennsylvania 3 times for driving under the influence. Now, this is where the DUIs start. Sytch pleaded guilty to all 3 charges in January of 2016. A judge sentenced her to 90 days in jail, but counted her 97 days in rehab as time served. So she did a little rehab. However,
WWE probably paid for it.
You're probably right, yeah, because they were trying to. They do try to help out a lot of these people. However, she was charged with violating her parole that September. It never stops here. This is February 2017. While on probation, Sytch was arrested in New Jersey. So we got Connecticut. I mean, it's all this is all real close together. But Jersey, Pennsylvania, Florida.
So she's clearly not stable. She's moving around a lot. She's probably depending on men. I can't imagine she has a stable income at this point.
In 2015, she did a porno. I forget which company, but it was actually a real legit porno company that brought her in to do Sunny Side Up was what they called it.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, I mean, and that's probably a lump.
It's not good.
Yeah. Oh my God. Do you remember when she started? So she started doing this thing where if like you were at these conventions, these wrestling conventions, they had a whole bed laid out and you could pay so much to lay in bed with her.
God.
Hold on, dude. I'll get you a picture.
Can
Whoever
you
would
imagine the
Dude.
people that are like not have a framed picture with them and a fucking murderer in a bed together? Like that's
no.
Dude, people are so weird. There's a market for everything,
bro.
You know what? You know what's crazy about it is there's people out there who would still pay to fucking take that picture.
100%
with her, which is so weird.
Well, that's Rob Feinstein. Wow, though. Oh, different positions. You can get different poses.
This is what she had become.
And so in 2020, we go just a little bit deeper here. And so in 2020, a bunch of more parole violations. But in 2020, she actually does a year in jail, right? From 2019 into 2020, gets out, and what she does is she starts an OnlyFans account. So that's what she was doing up until she just got arrested. She was doing OnlyFans, and she had a guy that, again, kept having issues with. I mean, it's really sad, dude. It's really kind of shitty, but like at some point you have to take responsibility of your life. I mean, we're both there, you know, we're human beings. Like, I mean, I saw somebody in chat say it. I mean, I don't have my shit together, but I'm not out here getting DUIs, right? Like,
well, I think that also she had this built up idea of like, you know, this ongoing celebrity status in her mind and some form of entitlement, and you know,
for sure,
we don't have that. You know, we haven't experienced what she's experienced.
And it was quick.
Not to say it's a good thing to have, but you know, they
entered wrestling, I think in 92, and in 95 they're on national television. I mean, that's pretty fucking quick.
Yeah.
And really, like, her downfall really did even start after she immediately got released from WWF. Because if you remember, I don't know if when she got right after that, her and Candido started jumping around. They went to ECW, they went back to WCW. When she showed up in WCW, you could already tell, like, she was not the same. Like,
yeah, the crowd was chanting, "She's a crack whore." And
I forgot.
I mean,
she's a crack whore.
Yeah, and then her promos, she's clearly fucked up on something.
Yeah, that's what was shitty. You come into work, you know, that's your job. You do not need to be fucked up if you're out there. And she wasn't a wrestler, but you know, she's still around other people that are doing some pretty dangerous shit, and she needs to have her shit together.
Right. And they made a storyline out of it and put it on, you know, TV and all that shit.
That's true too. Now that, you know, just to reference that for a moment, professional wrestling during that point in time do you remember Hawk? Do you remember that shitty alcoholic storyline in 98, dude? And that was real. He really had an issue.
This is probably around the same time, if not like maybe
I think a year later. Yeah, same time. And hell, Scott Hall, WCW did an alcoholic thing with him.
Yeah, which was gnarly because Scott Hall, I grew up in the same town as Scott Hall here in Central Florida, and he after that happened, because they did, you know, the whole thing was he was drunk on TV and threw up, and I remember seeing that, and he actually after that happened, I think was fired not long after for real. And I went from seeing him on TV, and that same year I go to seeing him in the Sanford Civic Center wrestling Earthquake at Earthquake's like school show for his wrestling school.
Whoa.
You know? Yeah, that was in like 99 or 2000. Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, but it's like yeah, the people were getting tossed up around that time, and it was, you know, fucking up the program.
They were, man. Earthquake was awesome too. I remember him being
he was the shit, dude.
Good big man. Like, he was a big dude, but man, he could go.
I met he has a son. I met his son at that event. He had it's so funny because he was giant. This guy named John Tenta, if anybody wants to look him up, he was fucking huge. And he had this tiny little Japanese wife, and they had this son, and he was a fucking monster. He was just like this thick truck of a man, just like his dad. Yeah, it was crazy. I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah, he was a sumo wrestler too at one point.
Yeah, he was in Japan, a legit sumo wrestler. Had to cover up his tattoo and everything.
That right there,
tattoos in sumo wrestling.
I mean, that's a 400-pound man getting up that height. Like, that's not easy. Like,
that is acrobatic.
Yeah, he was one of the good ones. He was one of the really good ones. And from all stories about John Tenta, he was here we go. Is that his wife? Yeah.
I think so.
All stories about John Tenta, dude. He was a nice dude. He was a great dude.
Yeah. He had his own wrestling school here.
That's cool.
Like a town over from where I lived. And then at that time when Scott Hall was doing that whole drunk angle and all that shit, not long after, he was wrestling here. I remember when he got done with the match, he picked up he was walking around the ring holding his kids, and his kids were so fucking like, his son and his daughter. and they're just like so tiny, you know. Because Scott Hall's like 6'7".
Yeah, he's a big dude too.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. It was crazy, but
we were talking about
dead.
BDP
He's
earlier.
dead now. For the people who don't know, Scott Hall died. He alcohol relapse and fell down, broke his hip during COVID, and it's not good.
Yeah, man.
But he actually killed a guy. Since we're on the subject,
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah. He killed a guy here at a strip club in Orlando. It was in like the early '80s, I think. But
I think it was right before he started, because he started in Florida. He started in Florida Championship Wrestling.
Yep. At the Eddie Graham Arena. Which
dude. I think I'm probably going to butcher it, but I think the store, how he got in, somebody seen him like in a grocery store or something. He was just a big motherfucker, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And they're like,
"Yeah, I think he was like a bouncer, or bartender,
like,
or
you should come down to the gym and hang out." And they're like, that's how you got into wrestling back then. You didn't just go, you had to basically be initiated in it still at that time.
Yeah, and it's funny, like this. Speaking of that, like Tammy Sytch, the same thing. Is just like she. So at the time, when Chris Candido moved from I think it was New Jersey to Tennessee to be in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, Tammy Sytch came with him, and she got a full ride scholarship, according to her, from the University of Miami, and she was going to go do pre-med, like biology, and she was going to be a doctor.
Wow.
And and then Jim Cornette saw her and was just like, so he felt bad. From what he said, he felt bad about making Chris Candido and Tammy Sytch move down there for Chris Candido to, make $75 a night, 4 nights a week. So he thought Tammy was good looking and could speak well enough that he wanted to give her an opportunity to get on TV and make some money. So that would, justify a little bit more them to, be there. So that's how that happened. It literally, show business fell in her fucking lap.
Jim Cornette,
right place, right
son of a bitch, set the wheels off. He said all this, the entire domino effect started with Jim Cornette in 1992. I'd imagine.
Who would have thought?
Come down to Knoxville. Come down to bumfuck Tennessee, both of you guys. Or what? You got a career? You're gonna do a career? No, your boyfriend over there, your husband, he's got a dream, baby.
It's like the butterfly effect. Like had Chris Candido never joined Smoky Mountain, Tammy Sytch might not be in prison right now.
Dude, it really is how that worked out. That's exactly how it worked out. That their entire lives would be completely different if that day didn't happen and Jim Cornette didn't say, "I'll tell you what." That's amazing. Wow.
It's crazy.
Well, all right. First thing I'm going to show you here is, so this is from December 27th, 2021, titled "Tammy Gets Her Boyfriend Arrested." So this is 5 months before the incident where she killed a man.
This thing right here, I have no idea what it looks like. She states that there's drugs, if not,
he always has like a loose Xanax in his pants, and I can't sleep.
Why are you going through his pants?
To look for a Xanax to take to go to sleep.
Are you prescribed Xanax?
Am I?
God, she looks like a fucking wreck.
She looks, like she ain't sleeping.
Looks like shit, yeah.
So why are you taking his Xanax?
Because I was drinking, I relapsed, and I'm feeling like shaky, and I just wanted to take something to go to sleep. But I found this in his pants. I don't know what it is.
I mean, the only way I would know is I could test it, but I can't charge him with it because he found it. There's no possession charge there. But you need to get off the alcohol and stop hanging out with them and stop taking other people's Xanax.
Should have taken that advice right there. Right there, bam.
Yeah. But maybe you should go do something constructive.
Yes, like
anything
at all. Like
go play ping pong.
Anything.
Go anything.
Like stop laying in the bed with random dudes. Like on the internet,
digging through their pants for Xanax. Like what the?
I like how that guy's like, why were you digging through his pants?
She's like, I was just looking for a Xanax. Like it's a totally normal thing.
Yeah, right. Right? Dude, yeah, she's like admitting to police officers right here, and they're like, do you have a prescription? She's like, no. What are we doing?
She's like, well, I didn't find it, so it doesn't matter.
Bad choices.
Yeah, liquid Xanax?
You remember us? We were out here. No, you probably don't remember. Okay.
You don't remember?
When I drink, I black out. I don't remember anything.
We ended up in the hospital last.
And that's exactly what was in the car, in her console, was a fucking bottle of vodka when this happened. Like, dude. And she just said, I don't remember anything.
Yeah. We're the same ones that came out and put you in the hospital last time. So you got to get off this stuff, because whoever that is bad news, especially if he's bringing this stuff in your room.
I don't know. Like, that's why I just say I found it. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, you understand taking someone else's annex is just as bad as him having this, right? It's still a felony, right? I'm not going to charge you with it. Yeah, I'm not going to charge you with it.
Just because I called you guys.
No, I'm not. I'm just explaining to you that you need to make better choices, right? How you started out this is I went inside his pants pocket to get his Xanax.
You know,
that's not prescribed.
You know, Judge Boyd could have really helped out Tammy Sytch.
I think so. I think she could have set her back on the right path. You want to know what's crazy is they said in her sentencing that she has a 119 IQ, which is above average.
That is above average.
She's a very intelligent person, you know. It's not like she's not a genius or anything.
But it got away from her. Like all of this just completely.
She's smart. She could have done a lot of shit with her life.
Dude,
you know?
Wow, man. It's
yeah, it really is. All she had to do was get it together, you know. And I mean, that's easier said than done. But
I mean, she had her whole life. Like she's still young. Like she, you know, when all this really started, it seems like spiraling out of control in 2010,
she's
2011.
around 40.
Yeah, dude. Like you still have time. Like, I mean, I'm gonna look up. Because what is she, like 50 now?
She's like 51, I think.
Okay. I'll play this while I look it up.
You say you have a prescription. That's not yours.
I do at home, but he hides them around.
Yeah, 50. It says 50 now, but yeah, like.
Oh, yeah. Well,
so, I mean, that's still relatively young. Like, I mean, that sucks. But now we're looking at 17 years. So we're looking at 67 years old. And then 8 years probation. So, I mean. Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, it's gnarly, but with her, you know, she'll get out sooner. I think she'll probably behave because she'll probably have people that she can scam money out of who write her or sell autographs or whatever the fuck.
That'll definitely be happening.
Yeah,
she'll probably get married in there.
Yeah, she's not going to have to hustle in there and do the things that cause conflict and create trouble for you, though.
You're
know?
right.
So,
you're right.
Like she's going to escape all that, and she's going to get by on who she is, basically. And you know, like there's some punishment in that, you know, but then there's kind of not.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that should be worse for. I don't know, man. It's dark because of all the chances she just kept getting.
It will even say that just goes to show she's in prison and her celebrity is still affording her certain luxuries in life.
Absolutely.
And she, you know, it's just like she totally just went the way of like, well, I'm just going to shit on everything and just get what I can with what I got, you know?
That is literally
it's strange.
Her entire personality, isn't it? That's literally it. Wow. You just nailed her, dude.
When are you going back? When is you guys obviously can make the ultimate call.
Like she does not care.
If she wants them out, you want them out?
I'm fine with that.
What's his
name?
name?
You don't want this in your hotel if it is. So.
Is that what Christmas looks like?
That's what it does.
In my opinion, it looks like crystal meth. So.
Why would he have that in his pants pocket, folded up in a piece of paper?
What's his name?
James Penty.
All right.
Yeah, can you get him out of my room?
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
gone.
I don't think she has children, Mandy. Not that I've ever heard.
No, she doesn't.
This is yours, right?
Yeah.
I'll just hang on to it.
Just do me a favor. We're going to go talk to him. You just stay out there. Is that cool?
And then this isn't very long. This is about 53 seconds of the night.
This is when she killed the guy.
This is it. Yeah, May 7th, 2022 here. And this is you can hear in her voice just how drunk she is.
Real quick, what's your last name?
Sytch, S-Y-T-C-H.
What's your first name?
Tamara.
Okay, what's your middle name?
Lynn.
And what's your date of birth?
12/7/72. Completely dry.
I have water in my back.
All right.
Yeah, I'm a completely dry mouth, like cotton mouth. I never use some water.
Alright, just give me a second.
They wouldn't let me get it in there.
Because we have to give it to you.
Make sure it goes over the shoulder.
Yeah.
So pull that metal part all the way to her hip.
Where was she going? Because I did hear the part where the judge was saying, like, I guess she was talking about how she was making burritos in her kitchen, getting drunk, and then decided to go out.
I don't remember that part, but like,
I think it's in that clip that I've got up here. Like, what?
You got what?
And
I don't think anything in her life was making sense at the time.
I think you're right, dude. Yeah, like like this is her. Honest to God,
look at
like,
her. This is her yesterday.
This is her yesterday.
She has hypertension now. She is like, she's got a ton of fucking health problems apparently. Like,
what are they serving these people in jail?
Dude, it's gross.
Jeez,
food is gross. Jail food is not good.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not good for you either.
Julian Lasseter, Lasseter, that was the gentleman that she killed. 75, was killed on March of 2020. I think it was May. I think that's a mistake there. How do you spell that? Is it Volusia?
Yeah, Volusia County.
Volusia County, Florida. 4 other people were injured, but did not require immediate hospitalization. Judge Karen Foxman said that Sytch was guilty of driving into Lasseter's vehicle while under the influence. And then I think they've got her blood alcohol level was 0.280, more than 3 times the legal limit. The charging affidavit stated authorities said they found an unsealed bottle of vodka in her car following the crash. According to the documents, at one time of the crash, her license was suspended for a DUI-related offense. I think this is like her 4th DUI issue, maybe more than
She's
that.
had multiple DUIs. Someone recently, I heard somebody say 6. It's more than one for sure.
Crazy. This is 9 minutes of the judge talking about everything that I have here. We'll play this out here. Make sure I've got I think this will be different than YouTube. So, sentence. Yeah, here we go.
Of course, many sensitive DUI manslaughter cases, they're particularly difficult in sentencing in criminal court. We see, of course, many sensitive crimes, much unnecessary pain and suffering by victims, but somehow the DUI manslaughter cases seem to be the worst. Nothing that this court says or does today can bring back Mr. Lasseter, and I'm pretty certain that nothing that I say or do, although I wish it could provide some sort of comfort for the family. Mr. Lasseter, although I'll mention, of course, every human life has infinite value. And the testimony that I've heard was a very, very positive influence on people around him and tried to help people. So it's always sad to lose a human life, particularly one that's such a light in so many people's lives. This family, of course, will forever have the day before this happened and then the day after. And that line in the sand of delineation for them will be a prominent point in their lives that will be just infinitely sad. In this day and age where we have Uber and Lyft and everything else, all these other taxi services, I do have a difficult time sort of unwrapping why it is that we see DUI manslaughter in such a reckless disregard for human life, which is what a DUI manslaughter represents. In this particular case, the defendant is requesting a downward departure. Their burden of proof would be to show me, by the preponderance of the evidence, that the defendant requires specialized treatment for a mental disorder that is unrelated to substance abuse or addiction or for a physical disability, and that the defendant is amenable to treatment. While I credit the efforts made by the defense in regard to bringing the 2 very qualified doctors in to testify, this court has some concerns in regard to whether the preponderance of the evidence has been met. And candidly, when the court has questions in its mind, the reality is somebody has a burden of proof. Questions for this court, given the long history of the substance abuse by the defendant.
Yes, ma'am, you've killed a man. What is the last thing you remember? Oh, so I was making some burritos. Fuck, I don't know. What's going on right now? Jesus. She just jumped in the car with a bottle of vodka and was like, I gotta go. Oh shit, you're muted.
Did she think the judge was just going to be like, oh, okay, well, we'll just give you probation then? Yeah. You didn't mean to do it. You had no idea what you were doing.
And she was asking for another chance.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. I think I like this judge.
And the overlapping symptoms of the mental illness or the substance abuse. Can't say by the preponderance of the evidence that it's unrelated. The substance abuse treatment clearly began long before any symptoms that they've described for me of the mental illness that they're.
Actually, earlier when I was looking into this, Miss Escott, I had to Google downward departure.
Diagnosing. In fairness, Dr. Danziger met with her, I believe, one time. Dr. Fabian met with her 3 times. And a lot of their information was based on her self-reporting. In addition to that, the state made the point across that when I'm looking at the language, it says part of specialized treatment. Well, part of that specialized treatment was a mood stabilizer, which I think was pretty much conceded could be provided in the prison system. So I can't say by the preponderance of the evidence that the grounds for the downward departure have been met. Had I found that, though, I do want to go ahead and say, and answer the question of whether the court should depart. Even had the court found that the downward departure was met, this court can't say that this is a case where it should depart. The facts of this case are fairly egregious. The defendant admits to drinking vodka before driving in her kitchen while she's preparing, I guess, burritos. Her blood alcohol is very, very high. Though low level, she has some THC in her system. There's an open bottle in the front seat of the car of the vodka that she's drinking, apparently. She runs a red light just prior to this accident, almost causes another accident, slams into the back of this decedent, Mr. Lassiter, so hard that he hits the car in front of him. While he's stopping at a red light at, before 8:30 p.m. in the evening. So through no fault of his own, and I can't say that I've seen anything that Mr. Lassiter could have done to prevent this. Unfortunately, we had the death of Mr. Lassiter. In mitigation, I do have to acknowledge a few things. While I don't feel that there are grounds to downward depart, I think there was some evidence of at least some current mental health issues in regard to the defendant and some serious addiction issues. She has had some tragedy in her life, although candidly many of us have, and unfortunately it doesn't really relieve the responsibility of a crime like this. The defendant in this case has entered an open plea, just taken some responsibility.
It's like you can take all that into account, and it does mean something, but once it's gotten so out of control and you've had all of these issues in court that's been on the record, and then you take a person's life, dude, and I think that 17 years, and like you said, she'll get out before that. I mean, that's, dude, I'm not saying just lock her in a prison forever, but something needs to be figured out. Like, she does not need to be out there. She is a total risk to society.
Yeah,
what do you do? Like, is this a mental institution thing? Like, it's obviously a mental health thing.
I mean, we can't lock her up, forever for...
Like it's almost like
fear that she will commit a crime,
right?
Or something, But
like you can't just do that.
Yeah, and it's not illegal to be mentally ill and an addict and stuff in itself. But it's just kind of like fuck. Like
it is, man.
I'm worried when she gets out.
And I mean, not even joking. We see it. I mean, dude, we do this all day. We watch Jay in court all day. Like, this is one of the worst ones of a repeat offender that you could get with.
Habitual
repeat offender with the DUIs. Yeah. One of the most dangerous things that you can do, anytime we're in one of Jay's courts and when he's jumping around and you get to one of those, it's someone's taking someone's life from drinking and driving. It's a different level of murder because it's so shitty. Like, it sucks because you can feel the regret sometimes. I mean, not all the time, but you can feel the emotion either way usually. And I don't know, man. But this one is fucked up, dude. It's like but again, what do? You know what? Her license is already suspended, so she's already legally right? I mean, legally she can't drive. She's still going to go do it anyways. That's where I get to the point of like,
it's the whole restraining order is just a piece of paper.
Exactly.
It's like,
she didn't give a shit about that anyway.
You really do. You can't do shit. She has to take some accountability at some point.
Yeah, dude. I really hope that.
I think the prison and the probation are trying to make it so that, you know, if she does make it out, because she's going to be old, you know, well, she'll, I mean, she won't be senile or anything, but let's say she gets out in fucking, you know,
it's like 10 years.
Yeah, 10
60,
years.
61, 62.
Yeah, there you go. And then she'll be on probation for 8 years after that, so she'll be monitored till she's basically 70.
Yeah.
So she has till she's 70 to get her shit together,
Dude,
you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, like...
When you kind of think about it like that, that's interesting. I just hope
it's a fucked up situation. Either way you look at it, like any way you cut it, you know, like...
I hope that she can get some help in there and find a passion, something.
Prisons are not, you know, it's not easy to get help in there. There's a lot of shitty influence in there, and like they don't like make it easy for you, and you know, it's like it's a rough place, you know. So
yeah. I am with Holly Berry. If I had my shit together by 70. You know, that's what I think that, like, this brings perspective to our lives in a lot of ways.
Right.
Again, the celebrity, and, you know, Chris had a great point where she was just kind of thrown into this, and, you know, she had a partner that wanted to do it also. There was a lot of different variables involved, but in the celebrity to it. But, yeah, I always think about, man, you know, life's pretty hard. I wish I could get my shit together. But then you see this, and you're like, well, you know what? I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm okay with just laying low and, like, you know, just getting by with my job and going on my YouTube.
It's a good point, Ashley. Yeah, you can't fight battles for people. It's true. And it sucks, and it's sad. And that's when it really gets shitty, when it's loved ones, right? Like, I come from a family with a lot of substance abuse, and it's fucking shitty, dude. Like, but you can't jump in their skin. You can't jump in their bones. You know, all you can do is try to be a voice of reason or to the conscience or something.
You just hope it doesn't end up that they take somebody down with them, like Tammy Sytch did. Like that's all you can.
Exactly. That's a
really,
great fucking point. That's a great fucking point. Because if they're doing it to themselves solely, that's a little different. You know what I mean? If they're destroying their own bodies, it fucking sucks. But
go for it. Yeah, like that's
it's
100%. Your body. Go crazy. But like, yeah, when you start killing people, like that's the problem.
Yeah, I like this judge though.
She seems reasonable.
Was it Jersey Jen in here? Said she knows this this judge. That's awesome.
Oh, interesting.
And I do credit her for that. In regard to the Gabriel case, and I'm going to go ahead and cite the case for the record. It's a Supreme Court case from the state of Florida. It is cited at 314 7th 3rd 1243. It's a 2021 case, as I said, out of the Supreme Court of Florida. State's argument in their memorandum of sentencing is that because that's her maximum, that is also her minimum pursuant to the Gabriel case. I don't see any other way that you could read the Gabriel case, and I think, in fairness, the defense has sort of acknowledged that that's pretty much the situation. So, in regards to counts 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, is that accurate? The misdemeanors pursuant to the negotiations and adjudicate the defendant guilty, sentence her to 364 days concurrent with any other counts in this case, with credit for the 364 days that she's already served. She's actually got more credit than that, but that's a statutory maximum. In regard to count 2, driving under a suspended license, causing death or serious bodily injury, I do note it is an aggravator that...
Oh shit, I looked in here real quick and I missed this. I'm sorry, Miss Esk. $4.99 for your liquid Xanax. I'm going to put that right to work, that cash right now, and I'm going to find liquid Xanax. I haven't even heard of liquid Xanax until right now.
Until you got $5 for hearing about it, and now you want to try it.
Shit, you know what? I've never been a pill person, but I can be a pill person. Now, someone's going to take that completely out of context.
He wants the good kind that make you feel bad, you know?
I want the good kind that make you feel real bad.
She had no valid license. And she
Oh, hold on. I didn't even hit her with anything. I gotta know. This is perfect. Are you ready? Everybody's got a price.
Oh, appropriate.
For anybody that's not a wrestling fan, that's a wrestling theme song. The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
She's not only choosing to drive, but choosing to drive under the influence. Pursuant to this, and state, not to be nitpicky, but I actually come up with the amount of 10.6625 would be the minimum and the maximum. So just to clarify specifically in calculating, I'm going to adjudicate the defendant guilty, sentence her 10.6625 years in the Department of Corrections. Her credit is 566 days. So with credit for the 566 days. On count
she's
one,
almost
the
got 2
DUI
years down
manslaughter.
already.
Yeah, that's true. So,
So,
yeah, we're already at
you know.
15 years.
Yeah,
Ish,
put it at 15
so.
right now, and then when she gets to state prison, I think how it works in Florida is an accumulation of time, where you get out your first 2 years. I think you're getting, I want to say 5 or 10 days off a month or something like that, and then as you go along your sentence, your behavior time ups in brackets to where at the highest you can be after a certain amount of time. If you're at the highest of good behavior gain time, you'll be getting, I think it's like 15 days a month off your sentence.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm not. Please don't fucking eat me up in the chat if you're like a, corrections major or something and call it. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
So
I mean,
she'll be out, and I don't even if she behaves, I don't even think she'll be in there for a decade.
Wow. Yeah. That's why I hope that something reaches her. Even if it's this judge or,
Yeah.
I know that, I read some of her quotes of, some of the things she had said here, but seeing her face, I mean, she doesn't seem like she gives a shit. Like,
so right now, I did watch this part right here, and she seems kind of like in shock. She seems like she does say she is expressionless and whatnot.
It is,
but I think it's more shock than not giving a fuck.
Gotcha.
Like it's easy to say, look, she doesn't care. Like, no.
That was the vibe I got, but it was just the blankness.
It was 17 years in prison. I think she's kind of like, what the fuck did that judge just say?
Because I don't think she was expecting that, right? Like, she was expecting probably another chance. She probably had convinced herself we'll be out here,
in her mind, she probably thought that maybe her mitigation defense would have gone a bit better, and maybe her sentence would have been departed downwardly and she would have gotten less time. I think in her head she was probably riding on that, and when it didn't go that way, I think she was like, wait, what? And
what should have probably triggered that this was way more serious than anything else besides someone that has died. They let her out initially on probation, and it was like a crazy number. Like they had to pay like $225,000 or something. But 6 days later, they retracted it and said, "No, we're afraid she's going to run," and they brought her back. So
that's crazy.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it was so. I remember her saying in an interview when Chris Candido died, and the doctor coming out telling her, and she was just like, wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? And she basically described like she wasn't processing it, and I think that that's what's happening here. She's having a traumatic experience, and she's just kind of like not, fully processing it. And she's just kind of like, yeah.
Because I don't think she thought this was coming at all. Yeah.
Second-degree felony. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty.
She was like, OnlyFans coming at you, baby. Here we go.
I bet she was so bummed when she's like sees this like female judge that's she's just like, man, I wish I had some like pervy old dude.
Probably, dude. Yeah.
She's just
that's
always
probably
looking
how she thinks.
Always looking to manipulate the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Live in the gimmick.
And that's literally her life.
7 years in the Department of Corrections to be served after the 10.6625, with again credit for, she's already gotten credit, I guess, on count too, so that would already be applied. In regard to the remaining 8 years, I'm going to sentence you to followed by 8 years of probation, the conditions of which are following. Let me see where I get to this one. There is a 4-year minimum mandatory to count one, so the first 4 years of that term will be a minimum mandatory sentence. Conditions will be standard conditions of probation, plus she must have a substance abuse evaluation.
Kip Knox, she did, they did bring that up, I think in her, see, look at her face right there real quick. She's just kind of like, wait, what the fuck? You know, that's like, that's a blankness. That's
true.
That's a,
there's literally no emotion there. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing at all. She's just kind of like, but they did talk about like wrestling and, head injuries and you know, things of that nature. So, but you got to keep in mind that like this is all self-reported to the doctor. Like he
I was about to say,
a lot of this in prior medical records and stuff. Some of it, yes.
We've had tons of lawsuits now from wrestlers that probably have real accounts with head injuries, and sometimes a lot of those cases get attached, people attached onto them that didn't wrestle. Like Sunny, dude. And I'm sure she's trying to, what you just said, manipulate that situation if she's talking about head injuries, because she never got hit in the head with a chair. She never wrestled. Like, she might have bumped a few times, but she never had any head stuff going on. She never even, like, dude, I literally can't think of a match. Like she would get involved and do cat fights. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, she wasn't out there. Like, she was no China.
Right, yeah, she wasn't even Sable. Like, she would actually have matches, like like shitty matches, but they were doing stuff. Like
she's in there with Luna, like like
yeah. I love Luna Vachon, baby. I really do love Luna. Those are my favorite people on earth ever.
That's so funny.
She's so fucking dope.
Yeah, she like Sunny wasn't a wrestler, you know. Like. Did she take some bumps throughout her career and stuff? Yeah, I'm sure at some point she probably had to.
She probably did.
Point, yeah, even in like the smaller promotions, you got to do more. You can't just get up and shake your fat ass anymore and like be drunk all the time. It just like doesn't work like that.
Especially after the heydays over. Like it's 96, 97. That was the prime. Dude, do you remember? I mean, I think SummerSlam 97 when they gave away that huge casket full of cash. Like she was the person that was promoing all that, bro. That was in the magazines. That was like, you know, her showing her tits in front of the cash. Like,
yeah, I think she was in like Sports Illustrated and stuff. Like,
yeah. She says, now this is funny because this is like, you know, how wrestling is, but her and Sable have a real life feud because of the whole diva shit, whatever. But, you know, Sable's the first woman to really be approached to be in Playboy. Sunny says in 97 she was approached before Sable was. And but that's again is only self-reporting. Sable says it's bullshit.
That's see, this is another thing. So by all accounts from everybody, they say that, you know, Sunny's an asshole of a person and this and that and blah blah blah. But this is another thing, and it's like I think it might be like this with a lot of wrestlers and stuff. But she's like, you don't know what's fucking true, you know?
Absolutely. And tall tales are a part of it. Like it really is. Like.
Yeah, so it's like how and you know, so you got this person in court and like this is like their way of life and how they get through life is by like fucking, you know, fooling people essentially and just like kind of like manipulating the truth and adding things to the like her, you know, I don't know, man. She like the state really busted her her mitigating specialist, the forensic psychologist that examined her for the defense and like was really like, do you have anything to back this shit up? And he's like, no, this is self-reported.
Wow, this is just from her.
Yeah,
that's how it is. Yeah. This is completely left field, but do you know who Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant is?
Yeah.
So Jimmy Valiant is the best carny out there. So I've been to, I mean, I'm talking hundreds. I couldn't even imagine how many wrestling shows I've been to. I've seen Jimmy Valiant probably at least fucking 50 times. He lives not that far from here, just that type of thing.
Really?
Yeah, he lives about 50 minutes from me right now. Like, and he's still to this day, he's like 80, bro, and shows up to
he's
shows.
old as fuck now.
So I say he's the best because, dude, I'm a little bit of like So Terry Funk, Stan Hansen, Mick Foley, I've given them money for shirts and pictures. My line's basically there. Like, they have to be like ultra legend in my, people that I really love, I'm going to give my hard-earned cash to. But Sunny, to just kind of go back on her for a second. Hold on. Actually, Jimmy Valiant being the best. Hold on. Jimmy Valiant is and I have random pictures of Jimmy Valiant. I have a Jimmy Valiant shirt. I have a Jimmy Valiant headband. Because every time I see this man, no matter how many times, he doesn't know who the fuck I am. He's not going to remember me, right? Hey, brother, hey, you're a big boy. Hey, you need to come up to the gym. And I'm just like, hey, man, hey, you can't get away from him, dude. He's just like, no, come over to the table. Hey, this is my wife, Susie. We got some donuts over here. I don't know why you have donuts at your table, but you have donuts right next to the shirt. I'm kind of a fat guy. So I'm thinking, damn, I might get a donut. And all of a sudden, dude, I'm walking out of there with 2 8x10s, 2 shirts, and a donut.
They're hustlers.
Bro,
all of them.
It's crazy. He is the best. But hold on, I met Sunny once, and I almost got off on a weird little tangent there for a second. But Sunny, and I told this to you privately, but she was a cunt. So I was at this convention, dude, and at the time I was doing this podcast thing with some friends. This is literally 2011. This is right at the beginning of her shit fest, a long ass time ago, dude. And I was going through the wrestlers' lines, and I was actually, buying stuff this time to for the, hey man, would you mind? I had a shitty ass phone. I'm like, would you mind to do a little whatever? Name the show. Hacksaw Jim Duggan did it. Numerous people. I got to actually do this, and it was dope. It was cool. Tommy Dreamer, a bunch of people. Basically, literally everyone I asked, but we get to Sunny and go through, dude. I don't even remember what happened. Whatever I got, a picture or something. And I'm like, oh, Sunny, would it be cool if, you said just whatever, this little spiel, not even a spiel, just say, hey, Sunny, thanks for whatever. And dude, if they didn't want to do it, that's totally cool. That's not even a problem. But she was just like, dude, she was just and she went from being, because at the moment I just paid her some money. She went from being just and as soon as I asked her for anything else, dude, her face was just no, I have to talk to a manager. I have to go talk to my manager. I'm like, what? What's going on? She's like, no. And then she made it feel like, I was the issue. She's like, look at this line of people. I don't really have time to do this. I'm like, what? You made it so weird.
You want to know what's crazy?
Super rude though.
Oh yeah. So they're talking, and it's interesting that you say that. That's how she acts towards her fans, because I want to say her last boyfriend before this arrest, I don't know if it was the one that she was digging through his pockets for Xanax. It might be, but this was a fan that she had met that's she started talking to and stuff. And then I don't know how it happened, but this was a fan who just I guess hit her up online or something. And yeah, and then she ended up coming down here and living with him. I don't know.
Wow.
But so it's what can she get out
exactly?
of
Yeah.
fans?
How can this benefit me? Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Right.
And in my scenario, it was over, right? The transaction was over, and she's like, "Whoa, all this extra shit, I'm good."
And
good on that.
I'm pretty confident she's a legit narcissist. So
100%.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I've never taken a class. But so whatever my opinion's worth to you is what it's worth. But yeah, she seems like a fucking narcissist to me.
Yeah, 100% narcissist, dude. Yeah.
Treatment. She must have the alcohol safety education course. If that overlaps with the substance abuse evaluation, of course, there would only be one required. Victim awareness program, 50 community service hours, $10,000 fine, and her driver's license will be permanently revoked. Otherwise, any standard fines and costs.
She's got that twitchy blink. I wonder if that happens when she's stressed.
And dude, she had that in the 2011 footage. Yeah, she's
And at this point, she's been in jail for over a year, so she's not drinking or anything.
That's right.
This is not a withdrawal symptom now. So I wonder if that's a stress thing or what. It's very strange.
Yeah, she's doing it right now.
All right, does that cover everything?
Yeah. It's rapid.
State?
Yep.
They really don't stop.
All right. Any questions, Ms. Sytch? All right. You have 30 days to appeal. That must be in writing with the clerk of court. If you cannot afford counsel, appoint counsel to represent you.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
May we be appointed for purposes of appeal now?
Sure. can we go ahead and put that?
Thank you.
All right, court's in recess.
See, she looked bummed right there. She looked bummed right there, but she didn't look worried, you know?
That's a good point. Yeah, she's not like freaking out. Like, you know, I would have been like freaking the fuck out, I'd imagine.
Yeah, she just kind of looked like
almost drugged even. Like,
I don't know. I wouldn't say. I don't know if she's drugged. She might be. Yeah, I think she is on mood stabilizer. I
heard the judge say. I don't know if it was in this or if I read that, but I did see.
I want to say I heard her doctor or another doctor say something like that. That was like her thing on sentencing is like, oh, she has the proper medication now and blah blah blah, and this is the treatment path she needs to be on and whatever. But
she needs to be on something. Like she needs. Hopefully, I hope that she's getting actually truly evaluated and.
Yeah, it's just such a. It's an interesting reaction. I mean, not really. Like I guess it's a pretty fucking grim moment. You know, she just lost like years of her life. So I'm like, you know, I'd expect her to be like bummed out like that. But yeah, I don't know. Strange. She's just blinking hard and just like seems just kind of shocked and bummed and like she thought it was going to go better.
Yeah, I think she thought she was going home. I don't know why, or you know, maybe not home, but not,
or like even like a year or two.
Yeah. Because
you see that. Well, you see that in Florida. You see DUI manslaughters and people get 2 years. Like that's you know. But I think she probably thought that was the case, but I don't think she accounted for how much the habitual offenses and shit were really gonna.
Everything had just added up.
Judges don't like that.
Yeah, and I like the way that the judge kind of like. I mean, she talked for 9 minutes there about everything. You know, she just didn't sentence her for no, you know, just outright. She gave all the reasons. She put thought into it, and I like that, man.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
She was thorough.
Real thorough. Yep. Looking through the chat here. Thanks everyone for hanging out tonight. This has been a good one. Going back to the old wrestling days here. I may upload this one to the wrestling channel, which I haven't uploaded to since January.
Oh my god!
We're like,
people be like, "Yes, content."
I'm back, baby.
Jimmy Valiant's gonna be like, "Fuck yeah, he uploaded a new video."
Fucking Jimmy Valiant, bro. Oh Lord, my top guys I've met because they live
He's
close.
like, "I've been waiting since January." He's like 1 subscriber.
I don't know if I have a Jimmy Valiant match on there or not. I might, but dude, the two people I've met more than any other two wrestlers just because they live close. Jimmy Valiant and Ricky Morton, which I love Ricky Morton. He's always been
Ricky
dope.
Morton, oh my god.
So this is we're done with the show, so I'm just going to spread this, tell you the story. So I've also had lots of weird interactions with wrestlers. I've had a feud with Stan Lane before he died on the internet. He did not like me at all. But in real life, I've had a feud with wrestlers. So Robert Gibson, Ricky Morton's tag team partner, hates me. He actually does remember me. So we had a really weird situation. So this was like 2011. I went to meet him at a fucking car lot, like, you know, some bullshit. Like he was there, Dave Hebner was there, Bobby Eaton.
Mazdas.
Yeah, dude, it was like weird as shit. And it was, you know, there was a show in town that night, you know, Nash was actually there. Nash and Ricky mained. Okay?
Wow.
Nash and Ricky Morton mained. Guess who was not in that fucking match? Robert bitch-ass Gibson was not in that fucking match because he sucks. They didn't want his ass in there. Like, I guess you can manage Ricky, you fucking bitch. So here's what happened.
Someone in the chat said Stan Lane is not dead.
Not Stan Lane.
Is he still?
Not Stan Lane. Nature Boy Buddy Landell. I apologize. Nature Boy Buddy Landell.
Stan Lane from fucking died?
Stan Lane from the Midnight Express. I did fuck that up there. Nature Boy Buddy Landell. I had a blood feud with on Facebook. Not
you
in
better
real life.
You better shout out Greasy Physique in the chat for catching that.
Oh shit. I know Greasy in real life. Okay. Greasy. Thank you for correcting me. Nature Boy Buddy Landell is who I had the blood feud with. So no, Stan Lane is not dead. So okay, at this car lot though, I'm there. I'm gonna meet some dudes. So Ricky's not there yet. Robert's there hanging out at the table. I go over, I'm looking at the shit. I'm like, oh, cool. He's like, oh, hey, you want to get something, And I'm like, no, man, I'm waiting on Ricky. I want to make sure I can get, I'm not even being rude. I'm like, I want to make sure I can get you guys together. Like, I want to get a picture. I want to make sure I have the rock and roll express. Dude, he got so fucking rubbed wrong by that. So I walk around, I'm still looking around. Ricky gets there. So as soon as Ricky gets there, dude, I run up, like, I'm a fucking big fan of wrestling. I run up, I'm like, hey, man, even before he gets to his table. So that probably didn't rub him right, because, I would have, let's just preference, if Ricky was there and he asked me that, I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, Ricky Morton, but whatever. So we go over, so I follow him to the table. So I'm like, all right, we're in the position now to do the thing. You're here together, I'm going to get my shit. Dude, Robert Gibson was such a fucking dickhead to me. After this, Ricky's still being dope. He's still being awesome, bro. He's like, yeah, brother, whatever. Robert's just like being so fucking cold and weird because of our interaction earlier. So we get our picture. I get my picture. So I go around the table and I wrap both of my arms around these dudes, right? Around Robert, too.
Was he like, get your fucking...
He did not like it at all, dude. He did not like me wrapping my arms around him. So it doesn't end there. So that part ends. We go to the show. The show's over. Dude, we go to fucking Sheets after the show. Fucking Robert Gibson's at Sheets, and dude, he's talking shit to me. Like, he's literally calling me like he's just going after my red hair basically and calling me fat. Like, that's all he really has. But he's literally talking shit to me. I did not do anything.
Like trying to goad you into a fight or something.
Well, it didn't really feel like that because I wasn't gonna fight this man. He was with other wrestlers too. It was fucking weird, dude. Hacksaw Jim Duggan was there. It was fucking weird, bro. I literally just got in the car. I was like, all right, this is weird.
Wrestlers are, for the most part, fucking weird people, know? And they can take that however they want. Like, I like wrestling, but like I've met some wrestlers and they're fucking weirdos. So
yeah, that is 100%.
I won't say who, because that's kind of rude, but yeah, no, they're fucking weird people. They're different, and like they just think differently, and whatever.
So Buddy Landell, this was like 07, 08. I mean, he's been dead. He died in a car accident. He's been dead for a long time, but it was early Facebook. So there was a show that was in Tennessee, not too far from here. And dude, he was on, I don't even think I knew that like some local dude ran the show. He was brought in as the main event, as like the main talent. So he fought the local town guy, right? So you know how that goes. So he's fighting Joe. Yeah, he's fighting this nobody, but he's the town star, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm watching this clip and it's Buddy Landell just fucking this dude up. Like, I mean, just being like a total piece of shit to this guy. And dude, I start commenting on this. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, you have basically just going in on Buddy Landell for being a piece of shit to this guy that, what brought him in to do, like he even won the match. It's like, oh, are you serious? Like, you haven't wrestled on television in 25 years? Like, I was just going in. I was being an asshole. I'm not going to lie. But dude, he comes in on the comments out of nowhere. Not Stan Lane. I keep calling him Stan Lane, but Buddy Landell. You know what? Fuck you, Buddy Landell, you son of a bitch.
I thought you were about to turn heel on Stan Lane and be like, fuck you too, Stan Lane.
No, I like Stan Lane. This is getting fucked up. I like Stan Lane's fine. Okay. But I'm getting off on some wrestling
anymore.
tangents.
He won't say that about you.
Who?
Like,
what?
That fucking guy. He'd be like, that fucking guy. Kept talking about me, said I was fucking dead.
I get crazy now. No, Stan Lane is still alive, as far as I know. Greasy physique.
Well, Jimmy Valiant's ass just to fucking get to you.
my favorite. So I get it from my grandpa, man. My grandpa. So when I was a little kid, we were at this show. This is 1998, so I was 12. Me and my brother were at this show. And fucking Ricky Morton again. Ricky Morton's in this match, dude. And he's getting his ass beat, dude. He's bloody as fuck. He's wrestling a guy by the name of Rick Link. My grandpa's at the show, drunk as fuck. My dad's there, drunk as fuck. They took us there. Talking about drinking and driving. This is literally what was going on.
It's okay in West Virginia. It's totally legal.
It wasn't that far from the house, wink, wink, whatever. Well, my grandpa gets pretty fucking rowdy. He's why I love wrestling still to this day. But he wasn't having the cheating that was going on right in front of his face. Let's just say that. And he was going crazy, dude. He was calling him a son of a bitch, Rick Link. Well, Rick Link comes out there and starts playing it up. Oh, whatever. My grandpa, dude, picked up a chair, swung it back, right? He hits a lady with the chair, okay? The lady that he hit was somebody that ran up that worked for the promotion, was Rick Link's wife. the man that he's arguing with. Okay, they throw my grandpa and my dad out. So me and my brother Dan, we run away, bro.
How old were you and Dan?
I'm 12, Dan's 10. We run away and sit in the bleachers because we ain't leaving. Like, they can go sit in the car. We're going to stay for the show. Dude, it was crazy. And then it gets even better. So my grandpa, they kicked him out for hitting this lady in the head with a chair. But
this is the most fucking West Virginia story I've ever heard in my life. Like,
I lived a wild life, dude. I really did. So, like, as a child. So, like, but my grandpa, he goes out in the car, and I guess he sobers up a little bit. And he starts, dude, I see him coming back in. I was like, oh, shit. He's coming in. He walks, and it's like, so the lady is sitting with the wrestler's merchandise, right? She's back in the back. Walks right up to this lady. I'm like, no, what is happening? Like, but dude, this is 1998. This would never happen today. Walks up to her, and he's like 65, you know what I mean? Like, he's an old man. Walks up to her and just apologizes. And it was cool. He came back. We went and sat in our seats. We finished the main event in our seats with our grandpa.
Time.
Like, they let him back in. They're like, it's all right. It's good.
The wacky world of pro wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Dude. I've been to a lot of wrestling shows. Have you been to a lot?
I've been to a couple. I haven't been to a lot. I went to a WWF show and like it was probably like 92 or 93. Yeah, I saw.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was like a house show and it saw like Yokozuna and Undertaker and Doink and
damn.
Like, it was cool.
I love that era too.
Yeah, so did I. That's like my favorite. And I was a little kid and it was awesome. And then I went to that John Tenta's show for his wrestling school back in like 2000, 2001, something like that. And then I've probably been to like one or two others that I just can't think of that are like smaller. Or actually, you know what? I have. I've been to like it was actually called it was like this little dude named Puppet, and he did like midget, like midget death matches. And it was fucking crazy.
Do you remember him in TNA? In the very beginning of TNA?
No, I never saw it.
Like the very beginning, like the first few months, because it didn't last long. But Puppet and another midget, something Tito, like they were these two dudes that would go around the country doing these hardcore death matches.
Fucking crazy.
Dude,
crazy.
One of the best shows I ever went to in Charlotte, North Carolina was a full-on midget show in a bar, bro.
Yeah. That's I was working at a bar in Jacksonville, and
they had a party.
They came through on a tour, and they had this band playing on stage while these little people, they call themselves midgets.
Yeah. We should actually preference that. They're like to be called little people, but in wrestling, they literally call their promotion midget. Like they use that term.
Yeah. They want you to call it midget wrestling. So, and that's what it's called. So I'm just going by their rules. 100%. So don't fucking crucify me if you're a
I know. I'm glad you said that actually, because I'm just saying it, but that's what they want to be called.
So like, so we gotta like specify that.
100%.
But like they had a band playing on stage and they're just running around the bar beating the fucking shit out of each other. And it's like one thing if you're a grown man and you jump off the bar onto a concrete floor onto like another grown man. It's another thing if you're a midget and the bar is like a 10-foot mountain for you.
For real.
Seeing this tiny guy jump off like it's like, a bar, it like looks insane because the dude's flying for like 5 seconds and it's crazy. And
even to that point, when they do the shows, dude, they're doing these in regular rings that the grown men are wrestling in. So like when they're falling outside and shit, that's way worse. Like,
it has to fucking hurt. It has to. So it's gnarly.
One of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life, dude, was at that bar show. So, I mean, this one little dude, man, he was fucking the man, and like. It was a big battle royal, and dude, there's this chick in the front, and she was drunk as shit. Her boyfriend was drunk as shit, and dude, this little dude, he brought her over the rail into the ring, and just starts doing like a lap dance on her, right? And she's loving it, dude. Like she's enjoying it. It's a real good time. All of a sudden, bro, it turns into basically rape with clothes on. He just starts molesting this lady, bro. He puts her, dude, he starts rolling her up, dude, just, banging her, putting her in the corner. This is not part of the show, dude. The boyfriend You think you'd be like, well, what the fuck's going on? No.
Yeah.
They come over to the corner closest to where he was at and where I was right beside these people. Gets her in the corner, so she's kind of over into the corner, just like, pounding this lady. Bro, he reaches out and just starts slapping hands with the boyfriend.
What the
I was like, what's going on right now, bro?
That is absolutely insane.
It was madness, dude. Yeah, that was one of the funnest shows I've ever been to. It was insanity, bro.
It sounds like sheer chaos,
dude. What we're gonna do?
I thought it was just midgets running around like beating each other with barbed wire bats and jumping off ladders and shit. Too. But you're like, no, I watched a midget like dry hump a woman, like kind of against her will, kind of like she didn't know what was going on.
She was very shocked and but I feel like she couldn't have stopped it even if she wanted to. Like it was very aggressive. Dude. I felt uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching this with straight shock and awe. I was just like, "Is this happening?"
I'm concerned hearing about it years later.
And this was probably 2012 or something, man.
That's crazy.
It was very disturbing.
Midget wrestling. You want to talk about carny shit? Go to a fucking midget wrestling show.
100%, dude.
It is out of control.
What we're gonna do though, I've never been to Florida, but when I do get to Florida, we're going to go to a deathmatch show.
Yes, we are.
Dude, that is going to be... I'm excited, man.
Yes, we
deathmatch wrestling is actually all really... Like, I keep up with other stuff, but I actually keep up with deathmatch wrestling today.
Not me. See, I can't do... It's too much. But,
it's a lot.
but I can watch it every now and again or catch, like, if someone's, like, really gnarly... I watched Joey Janela when he was like really and I watched Nick Gage and like a couple of other people, but I can't watch it like you watch it. I don't know how you consume that shit.
I consumed 2 shows this weekend. It's the main thing I keep up with.
I need it in small doses.
I do get that, dude. I have one more story and we're going to get out of here. So this is a deathmatch story. So I went to Tournament of Survival. This is 2019. This is before COVID. Atlantic City. We're in this casino, and it's a nice casino. I can't even believe they would do deathmatch tournaments in this casino, but Game Changer Wrestling, the biggest deathmatch promotion in America currently. So, I was going with a buddy. I had a buddy that likes deathmatches. Dude, right at the end, he bailed on me. I was like, fuck. And that's a long-ass drive, dude. That's like 9 hours for me. I was still going to do it, but I was like, man, I need to find somebody to make that trip with. That just blows. So, I get a buddy, I end up finding somebody, and I go to him, and he's a wrestling fan, but he's not a deathmatch fan, right? And he doesn't even watch wrestling really anymore. But when I go to him, I do say this. I'm like, look up some of this stuff on YouTube. I just want you to know what you're getting yourself into, okay? And anybody in the chat that don't know, deathmatch wrestling, it's pretty wild even for the crowd. Like, there's light tubes flying, and there's a lot of insanity happening.
Yeah, glass and crazy shit.
The rule in deathmatch wrestling is if they spill out of the ring and they're coming your way, move. That's literally it. Just get out of the way. Like, if you think that you bought that seat, no, you get out of the fucking way. That's literally the rule, which happens all the time. So
you will get hit with another person,
dude. 100%. Like you will get hit. Like I've seen some people have been sued. There's been some craziness. So I tell this guy, I'm like, yeah, watch some of this before we go. He's like, oh, cool. He's like, this shit's wild. I'm like, yeah, man. So we make the trip, dude. It's a great trip. We get there. First fucking match, opening match of this tournament. And, deathmatch tournaments are 8 wrestlers going through like 3 matches in one night. It's fucking brutality. First match, dude. First light tube that gets smashed. And anybody that's ever heard of smash, it's thrown one in the trash and you hear the pop, imagine that in an arena type environment. And that's what is so, I'm addicted to light tubes exploding, quite honestly. Dude, the first one that gets busted over this dude, bro. The guy sitting next to me just gets up and leaves. All right? Like, I'm buzzed up, bro. Like, I've got my vape with me, I've been drinking. I'm ready to go. These shows are also just straight parties also, by the way. Like, literally, I've never been to a deathmatch show not fucking obliterated. So... he gets up and leaves.
I've only ever seen them at bars. I just want to say.
Yeah, a lot of bar shows for sure.
Very seedy environment.
And Atlantic City, the boardwalk's a seedy fucking environment. So okay, so all right, he leaves, but dude, in my fucked up head in that moment, I'm like, oh, he's going to get another beer. So the match is, it's a badass match, lots of light tubes, it's over, barbed wire, it's violent as fuck. I'm like, well, where the fuck did my dude go? You know, I start looking around, dude. He's standing up here by the door, right? Looks fucking horrified. I go over. I'm like, bro, what's up? He's like, dude, I thought this was over. I didn't know what was about to go on. I'm waiting for the cops. Like, I'm like, no, this is going to be happening all night long. Like, this is just the what's happening.
For the cop. I just watched a man assault another man with a giant light.
The light tube freaked him out. He's like, dude, that light tube stuff. That is what usually freaks a lot of people out. Actually.
It is fucking crazy looking.
Yes, Holly Berry, a fluorescent light tube. I don't want to tell you guys to look it up because it is graphic, quite honestly. If you like true crime...
No. Hold on. He won't tell you to look it up because it's his channel and he's responsible for what he tells you to do and all that. But I don't give a shit. Go look it up. It's fucking crazy.
Look it up. Don't look it up. Deathmatch wrestling. Yeah, it's pretty wild, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's crazy.
It is fucking. It's pretty crazy. Some of the injuries have been gnarly as shit.
Oh God, yeah,
wild.
God,
People
Nick Gage
almost died.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Nick Gage, he did die, right?
He did die. Yeah, they brought him back to life. Yeah, in a helicopter.
Stabbed with a fucking wayward light tube and like shredded arteries and stuff.
So crazy. I mean, the Delaware, the Tournament of Death, the grounds, DJ Hyde's grandparents' property there, the farmland, dude. I've been to that property like 4 tournaments now. Like,
have you?
Yeah, dude. So I got out of deathmatch wrestling from like 2013 to 2017. For whatever reason, dude, I don't know if you know who Schlack is. Like, he's my favorite dude now. He's just this monster, insane. He's a tattoo artist. Like, he's a death.
Maybe I do know who he is. Is that the guy's like missing teeth and shit?
Yeah. He's missing
like,
front teeth.
Tattoos,
he's a beast.
Huge. Yeah, I know who he is. I know who he is.
Like. Yeah. He's my favorite dude. He's a mystical creature.
Yeah, that guy's
from New Jersey.
He's really fun to watch.
Fun to watch. Yeah. And so in 2017, man, I saw this promo on the internet, him talking about Tournament of Death that year, and that guy, just his energy brought me back into it, and I've been stuck ever since.
Yeah, he's cool, man.
He's
like
wild.
There's another guy from New York named like Casanova something.
Casanova Valentine.
Yeah, he's pretty cool too.
He's just about to get back from Japan.
I know a little bit about this stuff. So.
You do, Casan. That is impressive,
not like you,
dude.
Yeah, I'm not like you, but
so this is fucking Schlack.
Yeah, there he is. That dude's gnarly as
fucking
shit.
Schlack is insane, bro.
Yeah.
He's a monster, and he's cool as shit, dude. Every time I've met him, he actually remembers me. He's always just been like, "Hey." Well, also he likes Trauma and shit. Like, he likes the same types of movies.
No, you don't say that guy. Get out of here.
This was the tournament that I first seen him at in Delaware. I have a picture of me and him together that day with his eye fucked up, dude. He almost lost his eye that day.
Jesus Christ.
He's a fucking monster, bro. There he is in a tux. He is a monster. He is an absolute beast of a human being. Like, he's a tattoo artist.
Listen, also, that's not
a tattoo artist.
That's not a normal person. You know that, right?
No.
Like, can we all agree that this is not a normal person we're looking at? Like, and I'm not a normal person. I like real recognize real here. You know? We're fucking weirdos. He's like the different kind of weirdos here, but like, nah, dude, come on, the guy's 100%. Like,
100%, yeah. Weirdo recognize weirdo. Yeah, he's a good man. Yeah, man, I don't know. It sucks about Sunny. I hope that she gets actual help there, but you know, it's hard to feel bad because Jesus Christ, dude, it was just time after time after time.
Yeah, nothing else to do. It's, end of the road.
Looking through the chat here just real quick. He's a mystical creature from New Jersey. He is. So I gave him this T-shirt I did. He never used it, but I was like, I know they like Trauma, and the Toxic Avenger is the only superhero from New Jersey. That's his gimmick. And I was like, dude, you're from New Jersey. You love Trauma. And the old shirts from the 80s of the Toxic Avenger, the shirts were, I love the hero monster, because he was a good guy, but he looked like this grotesque monster. And I was like, dude, I want the same thing, except instead of Toxie in the middle, like your face in the middle. He never used it, but
missed opportunity. $1 million idea.
I was like, dude, it writes itself, bro. What are we doing? You are the Toxic Avenger. Like, maybe he didn't like that part. I might have a feud with Schlack.
Last chance. It's your last chance to capitalize on that.
Sam, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. everybody that came through here tonight, appreciate the hell out of it. Thank you very much. I will be back Thursday with Dan, I believe. We'll be doing some, I don't know if we'll do a story or if we'll just do some random stuff. I've been collecting stories and doing clips, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's been a dope one.
Thursday.
Chris.
Lots of fun Thursday.
Yeah. And then Friday, of course, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, Friday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, and then Murder Church, 9 a.m. Eastern
I'm looking
time.
forward to some Murder Church. Dude, that's my jam.
I've started doing research on Kevorkian, and he's fucking dope. I
like him.
Yeah,
I like him. I'm a Kevorkian guy.
Me too, man.
I'm not ashamed.
Me neither, bro.
The dude was smart as fuck, and yeah,
he knew he was trying to help folks.
He really was.
He was.
I think he was. There's nothing fucking evil or sinister or I think he was a very, very fucking intelligent dude who was really trying to, like you said, help people.
He was, man. But yeah, that's
interesting case. So Murder Church Sunday,
and I'm going deep.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. and I'm doing at least on Court TV. There's actually way more than that, but on Court TV, there's 3 trials: 94, 96, and 99. I'm going to do all of them, dude. So I'm going to stick with Kevorkian for a minute.
I like it.
And I don't think it's going to be as long as Dahmer either, so it should move pretty swiftly.
No, Dahmer was a marathon.
Let me get at least your Twitter in here. Hold on. Get this in the chat here.
Oh, thanks. They don't care. Nobody cares.
I'm going to get it in here.
I'm just me. They're not here to see me.
Have you started the podcast back?
No, I'm not doing any podcast.
Are you going to do anything though? I know that's just 1,000 times.
Nah, I like doing this.
This is cool. This is cool. You could be a constant guest on here, dude. Yeah, you're super chill. It's easy to work, talk to, and roll with.
I try to not fuck your shit up too bad. So.
It's good, man. It's good. It's good. Good chemistry.
And I like the people. The people are funny in the chat. They make me laugh. I like that.
Dude, are they not nice. The best?
They're cool. They're super cool.
I stay laughing at Jay's.
Yo, Jay's chat and this chat, it's awesome, man.
Comedians.
Whenever I got some time and I can just kind of watching the YSL trial, because usually I watch it on the crime, whatever it is thing.
Law and Crime.
Watching it on Jay's channel has been way fucking better.
Way more fun.
The chat's awesome.
Law and Crime gets do they do any kind of moderating with their chat, or do they just let it go?
I don't know. I don't even talk in
You're not
chat.
even trying to gotcha.
These are the only chat. Yeah, I'm not a person who feels like I need to get my opinion out. Listen, I just like engaging with the people because everybody's cool. So.
I'm about to end this son of a bitch, but that guy just pulled up here was a witness to the Robert Gibson story. He knows the feud between Robert Gibson. Also, follow this YouTube channel. Eyes. This motherfucker is the real deal. He has a dank ass channel. Dude, I love you, brother. This has been dope.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much for letting me, come on and hang out and
definitely, dude. Talk
wrestling and crime.
This has been cool, stuff. Man. If I do get back over on the wrestling channel, I'm going to bring you over there, man.
I'm in.
Right at the very end, man. I just wish I had more time. If I could get rid of the real shoot job, but at the very end of the wrestling thing, I was almost exclusively doing deathmatch stuff. So at the beginning, it was just old school, and then I was like,
we need to go on there and just watch some death matches and just bullshit.
Me and Dan have some of those. There's a few of us on there watching Necro and JC Bailey and.
Dude, Necro, oh my God, that's another insane guy.
He's absolutely, dude. This past weekend, he had
you know what you need to do is you need to get some really, really gnarly matches and show them to me. We'll watch it. Yeah, because you will get my genuine reaction. Here's the thing: believe it or not, and people are gonna fucking laugh at this. I don't like blood and gore and all that. I'm not a big fan. And it's I used to. When I was doing research and stuff, would look at crime scene photos and I was just like, oh my God, this is disgusting. I am not one of those people who's just I don't mind it. No,
it bothers you.
Yeah. Well, it's not crazy or anything like that, but I'll be like,
gotcha. So. Wow. Shit. I'm pretty desensitized. Twitter's actually just fucked my entire world up.
It's ruined my life.
Like, Twitter's way worse than deathmatch wrestling. I watch at least 10 people die per day on Twitter.
Yeah. Oh,
like it's absolutely ruining my existence and my brain. Thanks, Elon. I love it.
The core.
All right, brother. We will see you guys Thursday, man. Thanks again, bro. This was fucking fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, hold on. I don't want to miss it. I'm terrible at this. Hold on. Miss Deanna, boom. 2 months. Are you fucking kidding me? Thanks, Steve, Chris, and Mods. Good night. I'm going to hit you with one of these, and we're going to head out the door.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Anniversary. It's anniversary.
Love you guys.
See, we shoot them up bang bang over here. We not scared of they motherfucking ass.